Hello, everybody. Dorothy Morgan here. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to talk about the astrology for June 6th. We have the moon in the sign of Virgo, which is very detail oriented. However, it is making a few early morning aspects that I wanted to talk about. Let me get my charts ready. And so we're going to do that. We're also going to throw some dice. You guys love the dice. I do too. And we'll draw a card. So let's get started for what is this week look like? We're starting with our Monday, and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I did I made a post, there we go, to my blog. So you're welcome to come to my website and check that out. There are always links below here where you can get there, and you can just sign right up to be on that newsletter email list. That's always a nice way to stay in touch as well. Social media isn't always reliable. So let's get started. And that's just doing the paperwork of things, right? Letting you know how to stay in touch. That's definitely Virgo. That's about what we do every day, the Virgo energy. When the moon is in the sign of Virgo, we are more grounded. We do want to pay attention to the details, and we'll do that naturally without even recognizing it. However, of course, the purpose of astrology is to pay attention to what the energies of the day is for everybody, because for everybody, the moon is in the sign of Virgo now, June 6th and June 7th. And as it's moving through the early degrees of Virgo, it is actually making a quincunx over here to Jupiter and Mars in the sign of Aries. So that will go on throughout the day. So, it makes its connection to Jupiter Eastern Daylight Time around 11:20, and then not until a little after 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time does it make its connection to Mars. So throughout the day, we're having a Virgo adjustment, right? So be flexible with this aspect is what it's telling us. While the Virgo moon can sometimes get so fixated on just doing the details that it forgets that it has a mutability to it sometimes. Well, because it does, but we don't always get that. We sometimes will just hone in on a detail and just be stuck on that, because Virgo is a mutable earth sign. Now, the quincunx over here to Aries is just, as we know, that go-getter. Let's just go, let's do, let's not think about anything. We're just excited, just like a young child who's just excited to go out and explore and do all those things. Sometimes as parents, we just chase after them so they don't get into too much trouble. But that's what Aries represents. It represents the exuberance of excitement and youth. And no matter what your chronological age, we all have some of that within us. Hopefully you can activate it. So with the moon in Virgo, and these planets making a direct connection to Mars and Jupiter in Aries, it's like, it doesn't have to be a start, stop kind of day. It may be in some instances. However, just like I mentioned already, be a bit flexible. So we're going to focus on the details. We'll hone in on that as whatever that looks like for you, and then move on to what's next. Don't get stuck and don't become obsessive. Tomorrow on June 7th, we do have the moon and the sun in the first quarter. I will talk about that tomorrow. All right, that's what we have for the astrology for today. So I'm going to stop my share. There it is. Let's find that. There we go. We're back. Let me cough. It rained for 3 days, so the allergies are much better. Let's do the Astro Dice. At this portion of the recording, what we do is we'll roll these Astro Dice. If you're not familiar, each dice has 12 sides, 12 planets. We include the North and South nodes. 12 signs, 12 houses. Just give them a roll. And it's an extra message from Spirit for those who don't have anything in mind. And if you do have a question in mind, let's get started. You can just hit pause and think about your question. before I start talking. So I'm starting right now. So what I rolled was Mars and Gemini in the 11th house. So the energy of that, whether this is an extra message from spirit for you, or this is the answer to a query that you have, this is Mars and Gemini is quite dynamic. Mars, we just described what Mars is in a lot of ways. He's very action oriented and wants to take charge. In Gemini is about sharing that information, right? Content, sharing content. In the 11th house is, who do I share that content with? My social groups. Fun. I like this because this is just kind of the energy that you see here. I am a Gemini. So with Mars in Gemini in the 11th house, this is an added message for us to, if we have content that we want to share amongst the groups and the associations that are important to us, this is your sign. Please go and do that. And, you know, and whatever your query is, it's like, start sharing that information. And it could be that we learn from these groups too. It could be, typically this means we're taking the action, but there's always got to be somebody who's a witness and a listener. So it could be that it's just your time to listen to what groups and associations, you know, that you belong to, that makes sense and have meaning to you. You know, I've got a co-creator, I guess is the right word, a meetup group with the store Circles of Wisdom. I am still one of their readers. Been there for like 12 years. It's been a long time. I'm there twice a month, just online still. I moved far away. I'm not that close anymore. I don't want to drive 60 miles if I can sit here in my office. So you probably won't see me in person anytime soon down there. All right, let's draw a card. Let's see what Spirit is giving us for info here. Again, this is Native Spirit Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. It's beautiful. I love it. Gathering your tribe. I was going to say that because that really shows that is definitely 11th house. That's definitely an 11th house card. So gathering those people, that is, you know, yeah. So there's a big group orientation at this point. You know, Jupiter in the sky in the sign of Aries can really speak to that as well. You know, it's not that Jupiter's about groups, but it's about the large associations in Aries. All right. In Aries, it wants us to take charge. Get started. All right, let's pull one out. I really like that card. That card was great. And then the smudging ceremony shows up. So the smudging ceremony is the card that I actually picked. It wasn't just the one on the bottom. Clearing your energy. Is it time before you start sharing with groups or whatever that looks like for you that we just explained? Maybe it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that let's clear the energy, make everything nice and clean, start fresh. Mercury's done its retrograde. Saturn has just turned retrograde. I did a blog on that. I didn't talk about it. So I did a written blog. And I had a dream, it was an amazing dream. You guys should go read the blog. I'll put the post. Yeah, the link is below. All right, I'm spinning around now. I'm coming back around to where I began. So that means we are finished for today, June 6th. Thank you for joining me. And please comment below. I'm always here to answer your questions and tell me how you're experiencing this energy today. Blessings, everybody. Namaste.